Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. To start things off, former Goldman Sachs executive Bob Koifman says Bitcoin is ripe for another big rally after months of consolidation. Koifman, who is now the founder and CEO of markets intelligence firm Koifman, says the Fed's resolve to print US dollars and prop up the economy may end up weakening the world's reserve currency and giving Bitcoin a serious boost. He said the Fed's commitment to prolonged use of quantitative easing may represent a turning point for the US dollar. Over the past 30 years, the US dollar has formed three distinct tops: in 1985, in 2000, and potentially in 2020. A break below the current trend line would confirm a major decline for the US dollar with implications across all asset classes. According to Koifman, Bitcoin is already well positioned to rally on its own, and he believes a weak dollar would propel the top cryptocurrency past its all-time high of 20,000 US dollars. He said Bitcoin is setting up to have a significant move higher, and a weaker US dollar would be a strong tailwind. Bitcoin has consolidated over the past 2 years and is primed to make a big move higher. USD weakness may be a catalyst for Bitcoin breaking out to new highs. Meanwhile, trader Josh Rager expects the bulls and bears to continue slugging it out until one side captures key levels. He said the key level of support now stands at 9,250 US dollars. So if you've been paying attention, it's been about good 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks now. Tons of very rich people, whether they even are former Goldman Sachs this or Goldman so-and-so or Fidelity this, who have transitioned from the traditional financial markets and have moved into the cryptocurrency space. They're all saying the exact same thing. They all have the same exact metrics. They all believe that the cryptocurrency space is poised for some type of a move upward. And I'm going to get more into that as we go further into the video. But we have a very, and I want to say unprecedented, because it's kind of accurate to how it all kind of is right now. This has been a very weird year. Nothing is really making sense. And a lot of the other metrics that we've had before, I was reading something about a good hour ago, discussing the actual momentum around many coins and how, and I mean even namely, if you want to just plop them on there, is between Bitcoin and Ether. The last couple of, I mean even more so, you can even throw Cardano in there. The last couple of weeks and months, we've seen an increased amount of awareness and, dare I say, hype around these projects and their use cases and the accumulation of them and the things that are going to be coming out and the blah blah, all the stuff that's been going on, and yet their prices still continue to decline, while at the same time, and I'll show you a bit later on as well, a lot of remember that coin that Coinbase just added, what was it called, Compound, to their platform, that had like 300,000 daily 24-hour volume. A lot of other coins that are like similar to Compound have also started shooting up in price as well. Before Coinbase, I assume they may potentially also be adding them to their platform as well. But it's just kind of weird because we're getting so much attention focused exclusively around a few coins. Not all coins, but a lot of coins within the top 20 have a lot of momentum circulating, around them for the last couple of months, but they have not yet made a big move. And I think a lot of people are kind of wondering now, like, is this move ever going to kind of happen? We do keep getting the news. This is not the first time that we've had a title that says Bitcoin primed for a big move, or Bitcoin primed for upside, or Bitcoin looking like it's going to move. There are a couple of websites that also have like hypey news all the time. It's like the titles go, Bitcoin is, the last time Bitcoin showed this move, it rallied by 4,000%. It just flashed again. I see about 12 of those every single day. They're just really like crazy hype articles. Anyway, yeah. So a lot of people, and I dare not say that it's significant that rich people are saying these things, but I think it has to do with more so the people who've been accumulating for quite a long time, we can only assume, have probably stopped accumulating, or rather they have as much as they think they need, and there's not really that much floating around. So I think it's more like it's kind of like these tipping of the hats I was telling you about before that rich people do to other people. You know, now is the time to kind of do it. Anyway, I'm rambling on. The point is, yes, this happens all the time, every single day. I'm at this point, I'll be 1,000% honest with you. I'm expecting Bitcoin to fall to around 8,200. Realistically, just I'm just going counterintuitively to everything that's actually been happening. All the momentum that we've been getting for Bitcoin and the people, mining and all this other stuff and the trading volume. We should easily be over $10,000 right now, but and that's what everything, realistically going bad around the world. So I assume we'll go down in price first before we start getting any real talk about moving back up. Anyway, yeah. Let's move on. Where is it? My gosh, where are the words? Jeez Louise. Next up, economists at the New York Federal Reserve believe that Bitcoin, the decentralized peer-to-peer virtual currency that was created by a pseudonymous software developer around 11 years ago, is just another example of fiat money, end quote. In other words, the Fed economists don't think Bitcoin is particularly a new asset class. As expected, this categorization of Bitcoin as fiat money has not been received well by the cryptocurrency community, and I'll explain that in 1 second. Michael Lee, an economist in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's Research and Statistics Group, and Antoine Martin, who is the senior vice president in the bank's Research and Statistics Group, co-authored a blog post on the 18th of June entitled, and I quote, "Bitcoin is not a new type of money." The two break down money in 3 different categories: fiat, asset-backed, and claim-backed. They define that fiat money as intrinsically worthless objects that have value based on the belief that they will be accepted in exchange for valued goods and services. Okay, citing examples like the archaic Ray Stones and Ithaca Hours. Surprisingly, Lee and Martin go on to declare that Bitcoin, which the Commodity Futures Trading Commission has previously cleared as a commodity, is yet another form of fiat. According to Lee and Martin, the only thing that is new about Bitcoin is its exchange mechanism. They note that electronic payments existed way before 2009, but Bitcoin brought about a new system that made electronic transfers possible without third parties. This, according to these economists, is a radically new innovation introduced by Bitcoin. So, a lot of people have been a little annoyed by this. They don't care that these people said this. They don't care that they lumped Bitcoin in a category that says Bitcoin is a new form of fiat money. I'm going to tell you in just one simple sentence. Who cares? Why does anybody care? Why do any of you think that someone else should be caring about this? If you've been around in the cryptocurrency space for, more than a month at this point, you know that a lot of people don't like us. They don't like the idea of Bitcoin. They don't like the idea of it pushing fiat currencies aside. Bitcoin by nature is deflationary, while fiat currencies, since the destruction of the gold standard in the 1970s, have been hyperinflationary. And even before this, fiat currencies that were pegged to gold still had in inflationary movements. They were still in rather decreasing in value as the years went on. We know that people who are for the basis of the US dollar remaining as the world reserve currency will probably release articles that say that Bitcoin is just another form of fiat money. And I say this over and over again, but just always keep this in mind. There's a reason why they didn't create an article, why the New York Fed exclusively did not create an article that said why we should fear bananas, why cucumbers are not the new currency. It's because they know that Bitcoin is a very real threat. We all know that Bitcoin right now is the world's 8th largest currency. Yes, you can Google it. I'll give you time to Google it. Okay, that's enough time. We know that Bitcoin around the world is being adopted by very rich people. So this is either one of two things. This is either people trying to keep the status quo and make sure that other people are afraid of Bitcoin and therefore they won't get into it because it's the same exact thing as fiat. It's all it is. No one even look at it. It's just a new form of fiat. We already have fiat. Use our fiat. or they're simply trying to make sure that, people don't pay attention so that they can themselves accumulate more, which is what we've also seen over the last couple of years. So every single time we get articles like this, people kind of, get up in arms and they go, I'm so annoyed. Why are they doing this? And it's like, who cares? Why do you care what they say? We know how strong and powerful Bitcoin is, the blockchain is, how secure it is, how many people around the world are into it. We've seen them go after and try to destroy other ICO projects that they had openly admitted about a couple of days ago that they went after them, especially Libra, because they were a threat to the US dollar. So imagine when tons of countries around the world keep releasing articles and keep trying to ban something that they say that they don't fear, when it's obvious that they do fear it because they keep releasing articles like this. So that's all I have to say on that matter. I saw this everywhere. A lot of people were talking about it. People were discussing it on Twitter. How dare they? Don't worry about what other people are saying. Keep your head down. Keep accumulating. Make sure that you get rich. These other people, never forget, the same exact people, the same exact banks, the same exact institutions that said Bitcoin is garbage, it's for criminals, it's for ladies of the night, it's for all these other nefarious things. They now have all come out this year or the end of last year to say that they all have been accumulating Bitcoin since 2017. Don't follow the madness, just follow your own wallet. Anyway, that's that news. And let's move on. Next up, Vitalik Buterin tweeted that the Ether supply is 40 million less today than what was estimated in the original white paper. He believes this refutes the theory that Ethereum is run by inflationists, technocrats. I'll get into that in half a second. The estimate cited by Buterin was forecasting a supply of 150 million Ether 5 years out. However, the actual supply today is only 111 million. The issues of inflation and deflation are always contentious for crypto enthusiasts, as many believe that the purported deflationary nature of cryptocurrency is one of their main advantages over its fiat counterparts. Obviously. Although Buterin's observation is interesting on its own, it would have been even more insightful if it had been also compared today's state of Ethereum with what it was supposed to be according to the plan. Oh, we're not even going to get into that. Ethereum by 2019 was supposed to have been at 3.0 and have been the world supercomputer and have, over 100,000 transactions per second. This argument, I think people within the cryptocurrency space are getting very bored. And this is my opinion. I feel like people are digging for stuff, trying to really make life interesting. Once again, my opinion. And this is mainly because the reason why I think Vitalik Buterin had to come out and try to defend that there's less Ether than the estimated 150 that there were supposed to be at this point in time is because a lot of people who are really hyper believers in Bitcoin, we know mathematically that Bitcoin is, say it with me, deflationary. We know that mathematically, based on what's been happening with Ether, that it is inflationary, and there is currently no cap on how many Ether there will ever be. It is, if things continue as they currently are, we will have one day 500 million Ether. However, this is why also, remember about a month ago when Vitalik Buterin was explaining the new amazing things that will be coming with Ethereum 2.0, he said one of the things was that they're going to have a new burning mechanism so that when fees are paid out to miners, the people who are validating the transactions, portion of it will get sent to the miners and the other portion of Ether will be burned. And the idea is, as new Ether is being created through the proof of stake mechanism and the other miners are getting paid and the other so-and-so are getting paid to validate the transactions, the burn will actually level out. I'm holding my hands up at a leveled position. You can't see me. They will level out to the point where it may be possible that if there are enough transactions on the Ethereum network, that the burn will actually outpace the issuance of Ether. And therefore, Ether, or the Ethereum blockchain, will become deflationary. So a lot of people have been, I'm sure it's also just getting to Vitalik as well. A lot of people have been like, you run an inflationary blockchain and you're a terrible person. And it's like, leave the guy alone. People don't understand how much these people put into these projects. Like, even like, remember like a year or two ago, I was like, oh boy, it's not going to happen. I'm like, it takes a lot to be able to they're trying to replace the US dollar. Ethereum's goal is to make an entirely new internet that runs on top of Ethereum that allows you to do and post and say whatever you want at any time. That's the point of Ether. It's supposed to be a new world internet that is permissionless. It's fine that Ethereum is going up. You know, the issuance rate is going up. That's totally fine. There is no cap. However, things are being done against that. So, yeah, I mean, also super hyper popular news that everyone is... I mean, dude, like, really, it doesn't really matter. I hope sincerely that in 5 to 10 years, we have moved on from all of these things and people are like, oh, that didn't matter. Why did we care so much about that? Because it really doesn't. The main focus should always be, but it won't always be for a lot of people, that these networks are secure, that you yourself, if you choose to do so, whenever you want, can send Ether or XRP or Ethereum or Litecoin or any other coin at will to any other person you want to around the world. That's the point of these. It's economic freedom. And also, you know, eventually in the future, we will, you know, it might take us a couple of years to get there, but eventually Ethereum, if things go according to plan, or if there's another coin that happens to push Ethereum out of the way and does the job a lot better, we will have in the future an internet where everything is possible and no one can tell you no, because that's the future of decentralization. Anyway, that's the Ethereum news for today. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, the popular and first Singapore-based carpooling system, Ride, that is RYDE, has revealed that customers will soon be able to pay with Bitcoin. The feature will be available after the Bitcoin support is incorporated into the company's payment app on the 22nd of June. Ride has approximately 29,000 drivers. Wow. Tens of thousands of customers and millions of trips have been taken since the company started in 2014. The company Ride is a carpooling service similar to Uber, and the company launched in, I know it's Uber, and the company launched in 2014 before the first rideshare platform located in Singapore. The difference between Uber, Lyft, and others compared to Ride is the platform doesn't concentrate on traditional ride hailing. Okay. The firm's founder, Terence Su, stated that the company has been raising funds from a couple of angels and venture capitalists. Sao, who is 45, a Harvard Business School graduate, launched the application with the carpooling. I don't care what he did. On the 22nd of June, the company's wallet RidePay will incorporate Bitcoin support, and users can leverage the crypto asset after that date. Slow and steady wins the race, I say. We've been getting a lot of like new integration news as far as like Bitcoin being able to be a payment option. A lot of years ago, this was we had, you know, it was very sparingly. There wasn't a lot of news that Bitcoin was being used as a payment option, or that you were able to even think about using payment as in Bitcoin. But slowly but surely we're going to get there. I assumed that it would be something along the lines of the New York Stock Exchange having to release an app. But lo and behold, it's nice that we didn't have to wait for them. I think that's also supposed to be coming out in the next couple of days. I'm pretty sure Bakkt has their app coming out. That just hit me in the head. Anyway, yeah, if you're in Singapore, you can now use Ride and pay for your ride in Bitcoin. Once again, personally, I try to be as honest as possible. I don't think people are going to do this, at least not now. Once again, I'll tell you, if in the future Bitcoin does happen to hit a magical $1 million, I'll definitely ride. But at the moment, nobody wants to be that pizza guy. But it's cool that we keep getting this integration everywhere. I mean, at least being able to see it as a payment option, it's kind of like when you walk into a store and you see they take Visa and MasterCard and cash, and you're like, well, I only have cash on me. But it's nice to know that they would take cards if I had one on me. Anyway, that's the Singapore Ride news. And without any further ado, let's move on. Next up, the economy is on thin ice, and jobless claims are still outrageously high. Yet the stock market continues its V-shaped recovery. It's nonsense. And powerful rally. I think the Nasdaq just hit an all-time high. I remember reading these letters. However, one chief investment officer claims that a stock market day of reckoning is coming, one that could also cause another sharp collapse in Bitcoin. If the stock market does indeed crash due to fundamental weakness, will Bitcoin's price follow and retest the Black Thursday lows? That was the 12th and 13th of March, I think it was. At the start of the year, the stock market set new records for the highest price ever recorded. Around the same time, Bitcoin had recovered to over 10,000 and looked to be beginning a new uptrend ahead of the assets halving, but a black swan event arrived with the emergence of 19, and it caused the economy to completely collapse. Long story short, if you haven't been paying attention to the news, I don't blame you. The news is just quite depressing these days. We have, and I'll say this once again. I think I said this a week ago, but they keep popping up on the news. There are a lot of financial analysts and those people who have like TV shows on like CNB, ABCB, YB123 and all this other stuff. And, you know, they have these like hype shows. You should buy this stock because this stock is about to explode. They've been going on news recently, like very somber. And they're like, yeah, I think there's a problem. It is clear that something's not right. The stock market, I mean, we've all been around for the last 5 or 6 months. We know what's been going on. And yet for some reason, stocks keep going up. Governments keep continuing to print money. And the overvaluations of stocks and commodities and equities is just completely out of control. I watched something about a day or two ago where they were talking about like what's happening like with the farmers and stuff like that and how much food they have to throw away. And it's completely out of control. 19 has wreaked havoc in its own way across the entirety of the world. The issue is that the stock market continues to go up when we know it's all falsified. Like, there has never been a point where we've had jobless claims be this high. Never, ever, ever. Like, it's 44 million people is a huge amount of people just within the United States. It's more people than the entirety of Canada. Imagine if every single person in Canada didn't have a job. Think about it in that magnitude. And at the same exact time, we also have the same discussion as to we see that tons of people from the traditional world, financial world, are increasingly getting more and more into Bitcoin as stocks appear to be flying to the moon. We have tons of people who have hedge funds and other really big things, and they're like, hey, Bitcoin looks attractive. I am going to get into Bitcoin. And then the stocks keep going up. So they clearly understand that something is not right. But the calls for it says it right here, a day of reckoning have really increased. I saw one about a day ago that said they're expecting in the next 2 to 3 weeks to have a complete collapse of stocks. At this point, my hands are in the air because no one knows. Logically, stocks should be, I mean, the entire stock markets around the world should be dust. Like, they should be actually dust, get a dustpan, sweep it all up. Everything should have completely collapsed. But for some reason, this is also how once again, if you never watched the movie Big Short, please do, because it's exactly what happened before. The issue is, since we are in the cryptocurrency space community area, Bitcoin is probably going to slam down in price as well. Here to tell you the truth, that's just how things work. Will it logically make sense? No. Is it probably going to happen? Of course. I think the news that we will get is that Bitcoin is speculative and therefore people are taking their money out of the market and therefore the price has to go down. Or we're going to get something that Bitcoin is fragile. It'll be something to kind of tear down Bitcoin in some sort of way. Bitcoin is made to do well when the establishment fails. This is how it's been for a very long amount of time. We can have a discussion about price manipulation. We can have a discussion of whale accumulation. It could be a million and one things. At this point, the timing of everything this entire year, if you haven't noticed, this year is nutso. I'm going to assume the stock market is probably going to continue to edge a bit higher over the next week or so. This is my brain. This is me. Bitcoin may try to do the same. I'm expecting a double hit. I'm expecting Bitcoin to start dropping lower in price for for no logical reason. And then I'm also expecting the stock market to eventually start to tumble because, you know, it cannot logically go up forever. No matter how much money you put into it, that's just not how things work because it's only the governments who are dumping money into the market. And when that begins to fall, I expect to get news once again that Bitcoin is looking like it's going to test 3,500. I can't tell you exactly which number we're actually going to hit with Bitcoin, but I'm expecting that when we do have a proper stock market obliteration, this is when the calls from the very rich people will begin. Are you looking for a place to put your money? Do you want to make some money off of the money that you could have had inside of the stock market? Put it inside of Bitcoin. We're getting these calls already from the richest people about them putting 1% of their wealth into Bitcoin or 2% of their wealth. I think Paul Tudor Jones says he has 2% or something like that of his wealth into Bitcoin. This is when I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a relatively rough summer. That is RUFF summer. Simply because of logic. The stock market will not go up forever. And I think it'll be a very good reason for people, mainly wolves, bears, whales, to start, all the animals in my head, to start selling off as much Bitcoin as they can to lower prices to buy them over the counter or OTC markets to be able to accumulate even more. I mean, it just is what it is. It's just how, what's this one? Oh yeah, it says jobless claims worse than expected. Dow slides pre-market. However, I mean, the Dow goes down 0.5% and then continues going up. I'm pretty sure the Nasdaq, was it the Nasdaq? I think it was the Nasdaq. Just had a new all-time high. Nothing this entire year doesn't make sense. Anyway, all I can try and say is just be prepared. I know that's a very like open statement. Try to save your money, stop buying frivolous things, and I mean that in the most honest possible way. Because if something does happen and crypto prices fall, you want to be able to accumulate more. Whatever the case might be, you also want to make sure that you're able to eat, which is an issue we had a couple of months ago. Anyway, that's the realest news you're going to get today. And let's move on. And to finish things off, almost a month after announcing its proposal to migrate from the Solana blockchain, the Kin cryptocurrency project announced on Friday the move had been approved by its board and community after a transition plan would be released in the coming weeks. The Kin Foundation said in a press release, the move to Solana's blockchain was in response to a growing user base, which was hitting limitations on the Stellar blockchain fork the cryptocurrency is currently built on. According to the firm, the cryptocurrency currently has over 3 million active monthly spenders. Really? There are 3 million people spending Kin every month? And it has been really? It has been integrated, really? It has been integrated into 57 different, mostly mobile applications. App developers, node operators, and the Kin Foundation's board member, Ted Livingston, who founded the Kik messaging app and is the face of Kin, and who cares but their names, voted on the proposal, which was released on GitHub. Really? 3 million last month. They had already been pushing against the limits of the Stellar fork, Mugyar said. He said a rise in users meant the Kin cryptocurrency needs to be able to process more than 100 transactions per second, which is the upper limit of the Stellar fork. According to Anatoly Yakovenko, Solana's co-founder, the blockchain can handle up to 60,000 transactions per second on its current mainnet. Wow, okay, fancy. In addition to speed, Solana's natural ability to scale turned out to be a major determining factor in Kin's decision. Apparently, Kin is still alive. That number threw me for a loop if you didn't realize. 3 million active monthly spenders. Quick question. Have any of you been using Kik or Kin recently? Have you used any apps, mobile apps, to use it, to spend it? It's quite interesting. I still have all my... You know, I told you all this before. I have not sold any of my altcoins. I don't sell anything. I only accumulate. But I wonder what this could do for the coin in the, you know, a year from now, as far as like starting right now. If they, I mean, 100 transactions per second is, you know, but 60, who's I've 60,000 transactions per second. That's the, what's it called? That's the Visa MasterCard numbers. 60,000 transactions per second. Oh, anyway, so apparently Kin and Kick are still kicking. See what I did there? And they're moving from Stellar's fork to Solana's blockchain. All right. Rise the heck out of me. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbite University, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia569, Yasha Harari, Moonman High, XRP, The Pothead, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Chongololo, Tsongololo, Nostromo, John Sarson, Yana Marita, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Snyder, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, couldn't do it, not one breath. Bankroll Network, Adobo, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Nicholas Renault, One Piece, One Love, Damien, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangiala, Vori, Anthony, Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hishess, Everyday, and Calskips, Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodeming, Buttface, Anytime Fitness, Mouse Corner Staff, Arfmedic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, and Macho Niso on Crypto with Lana, Crayola, Michelle, URL, Bolero, Bastos, hold on, I have to sneeze. I did it, 2 breaths. I mean, not that, you know, amazing because it's 2 breaths, but I still did it without passing out. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel who clicked the little join button below the video. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the new channel. And thank you to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. You do have my love? There was a word I was looking that was bigger than that. It was like, I care about you? I don't know what I'm trying to say. At the moment, Bitcoin's price is currently at $9,290 US. We have slipped in price dramatically over the last 24 hours. I assume this is the slippage I was talking about at the beginning of the video. I assume we're gonna slip even further down in price. I think Compound is still slightly up. Where are the other coins that are like, you got Synthetics, you got this, yeah, Compound Ether. Compound Ether, $77 in 24-hour volume. It's currently up by 16. I mean, when the cryptocurrency market is just an absolute marvel. Compound's USD coin, $24.76 in volume. Currently the 44th largest coin. Makes no sense. I know, kind of crazy. And Lend is currently up by 17%. A lot of these are, I mean, sure. The point is, the cryptocurrency market is all over the place. I look forward to a future where Bitcoin has over $1 trillion market cap and is not even stable in price. Just, you know, it mirrors the actual reality of what's happening in the world and how many people are into it. I'm going to safely say we know that there are at least 50 million people who own, buy, sell, trade, custody, are in possession of Bitcoin, and I'm going to logically say there are probably less than I want to say 10,000 people who are into Compound Ether, which is, I think this also just popped up there as well. $77 trade volume, absolutely fantastic. One day we will get there, but at the moment we just are not there. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Keep hope alive. No one get too depressed or really sad. No one really, you know, I know. Times are difficult. It's a very weird year. Crypto prices aren't up. They should logically be up. Everybody wants to buy a beach house. Everybody wants to be in Malibu. I know. We'll get there eventually. Just try to keep your head up. You know, I mean, I was like fanning all of you with one hand. I was kind of like, but none of you can see my weird movements. I know, just a very weird year. It gets frustrating when logically we should mathematically be in very different places. But yeah, thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.